Friends, gather round, for we must discuss the tale of a nation scorned, a leader unhinged, and a decision so baffling it could only have sprung from the mind of one Donald J. Trump. The year is 2025, and our protagonist, freshly re-elected for reasons that continue to elude even the most esteemed political scientists, has set his sights on South Africa. With a stroke of his pen, Trump signed an executive order, effectively cutting off direct assistance to the nation. This was no small act of fiscal prudence. No, this was a full-blown suspension of aid, a move that sent shockwaves through the international community and left millions in South Africa reeling. The order, as perplexing as a Trump tweet after midnight, cited a South African law that allows the government to seize farmland. Now you might be thinking land reform sounds boring, but hold on to your monocles, because this is where Trump's signature blend of misinformation and xenophobia comes into play. This wasn't just about land, oh no, this was about Trump, the self-proclaimed defender of all things white and wealthy, rushing to the aid of white South African farmers. You see, in Trump's world, these farmers were the real victims facing a supposed genocide at the hands of the South African government. Yes, you heard that right, genocide. Before we delve into Trump's claims, let's take a quick detour into the real world. Experts quickly pointed out the flaws in Trump's logic. The idea of widespread land expropriation without compensation was untrue. South Africa's constitution protects property rights and mandates fair compensation. The notion of a genocide against white farmers was also false. There was no evidence of a systematic campaign against white farmers. Statistics showed farm murders had been declining for years. So, if the facts didn't support Trump's narrative, what was going on? Some suggested Trump was exploiting racial anxieties to score political points. Others speculated he was influenced by right-wing groups in South Africa. Whatever the reason, Trump's decision was based on misinformation and prejudice. The consequences of Trump's actions were swift and devastating. Overnight, millions of South Africans who relied on U.S. aid for essential services like healthcare and HIV/AIDS treatment were left in limbo. Clinics were forced to shut down, patients were left without access to life-saving medication, and the progress in the fight against HIV/AIDS was jeopardized. The Treatment Action Campaign was hit particularly hard, forced to suspend staff and curtail operations. Beyond healthcare, the aid cuts strained U.S. South Africa relations, condemned by the international community. As the fallout from Trump's decision continued to unfold, a chorus of voices rose up, demanding the resumption of aid to South Africa. Experts warned that the cuts would have a devastating impact on vulnerable populations, setting back years of progress in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Organizations like TAC called on the international community to pressure the Trump administration to reverse course, arguing that the decision was not only morally wrong but also strategically short-sighted. The suspension of aid to South Africa was a stain on the legacy of the United States, a country that had long prided itself on its role as a global leader in health and development. It was a stark reminder of the dangers of misinformation, prejudice, and the capricious whims of a leader more concerned with scoring political points than with the well-being of millions of people. As the world watched in disbelief, one question lingered in the air. Would reason prevail, or would South Africa be left to bear the brunt of Trump's misguided actions?